What's happening, everyone? My name is Nick and welcome to TV Box Top, the channel for the best reviews in TV boxes and accessories. If you are looking for an Android TV box that is rugged, runs on the mobile version of Android, but can also run Linux and build root, has unique firmware features like the one seen in Yugo's models, and can be applied both in a domestic settings as well as applied in industrial applications, then this box just might be what you're looking for. This is the Mekotronics R56 and it's a Rockchip RK3568 high-performance Android box and ARM mini PC. So special thanks to Mekotronics for sending over this model for review, as they wanted to demonstrate how their boxes can be applied for domestic usage as an Android TV box. So to find out all there is to know about this model, stay tuned, my full review is up next. Welcome back. So in this package comes the R56 model. You get one HDMI cable, a USB-A to USB Type-C OTG cable, serial connector pins for the RS232, the RS485, and the GPIO port, one external antenna, and it comes with a 12 volts to amps 24 watts DC power adapter. Unlike the R58 model, this one does not come with a Bluetooth remote. For design, its body is made of metal, and at the top you have a set of ventilation holes. For connecting ports, at the rear it has one HDMI 2.1 port, two RJ45GB LAN ports, one RJ485 serial connector, one RS232, and GPIO connector pins. You have its 12 volt DC power socket and its external antenna connector pin. At the front, it comes with one USB 3.0, a record button, one USB 2.0, a reset button, a headphone jack, microphone jack, its power button, one USB Type-C OTG port, and a SIM card slot. And you also have LED indicators. Here's a look at its front view when powered on. And to its base, you have 4 anti-skid rubber feet and cutouts for wall mounting or to a server rack. Out of the box, it comes pre-installed with Android, and it starts with a simple splash screen, a startup wizard, then you're taken directly to the launcher. Please note, it does not come with a remote, so you would have to purchase one separately, or you can simply use a mouse and keyboard of any type. It features Bluetooth, so if you have a Bluetooth controller, you don't have to utilize any of its USB ports. This launcher is called the Smart Launcher, and it features a navigation bar and full status bar with system controls. On this navigation bar, I found that the recent apps feature is not working. For customization, it comes with the ability to change its wallpaper from a selection of preloaded images, and it facilitates loading of custom wallpapers. Its firmware, under its About section, shows that it's the firmware from the X88 Pro 20 model, and it was compiled using the Android 11 SDK. Compared to the review I did on that box a couple of years ago, they made some improvements to the firmware, such as adding a navigation bar, HDR display, root access, and surround sound audio. So here is its firmware build information, and you have access to developer options. It features up to 8K display, but I currently cannot test it because I don't have an 8K TV, so the maximum resolution I'm getting is 4K 2160p up to 60Hz, and it's true 60Hz as detected by my capture card. Even though there are no settings for it, it has auto HDR feature, as I already went ahead and tested some videos. Under Advanced Display Settings, you have a Game Mode switch. This feature is a feature usually seen on smart television that compensates for input lag. Now it's regularly being used on Android boxes. It has built-in screen rotation to portrait mode, reverse portrait, and reverse landscape. It has HDMI CC options. Under Advanced Settings, you have a root switch, hardware monitor overlay, power key definition options, and a launcher switcher. For surround audio, out of the box under the settings called Audio Device, it's set to decode. Under this setting, you only get Dolby Digital. If you change it to HDMI bitstream, you get Dolby Digital, DTS Audio, Dolby Digital Plus, DTS HD Master Audio, and Dolby True HD. If you select Audio Pass-Through, you get Dolby Digital and DTS. You have Screensaver and Energy Saver options, and 66 various languages to choose from. And now, a look at its system and hardware information. The manufacturer of this chipset is Rockchip, and it has 4GB of DDR4 RAM and 32GB of internal storage. Its Bluetooth version is 5.1. Its CPU is the Rockchip RK3568 quad-core A55 processor, clocked at 1.992 GHz, configured in 64-bit mode, which supports 64-bit apps and games. Its GPU is the Mali G52 graphics processor with OpenGL ES 3.2 support. Its network adapter provides dual-band 2.4 plus 5 GHz Wi-Fi. Its Android version is Android 11 and it has root access. Its GPU has Vulkan support API version 1.1. It has an idle operating temperature of around 45 degrees Celsius. Under audio and video decoders, it only has video decoders for 4K HDR videos. It does not support AV1 or Dolby Vision. And for audio, there are no surround sound audio decoders listed here. However, I have already tested and it supports all surround sound audio formats, so stay tuned for that in just a moment. And that's its system and hardware information. For digital rights management, it has Google Widevine Level 3 with no HDCP protection. This means subscription services such as Netflix, Prime Video, and Max will be restricted to basic 480p resolution. And for root access, I enabled the root switch and restarted the box, and it shows that you now have root access. For watching YouTube videos, I recommend that you use the Android TV version of the app because the mobile version gets really glitchy when trying to process HDR display. With the Android TV version, you get up to 4K 2160p at 60Hz with HDR, and here is its stats for nerds information. For mobile screen mirroring, it does not come with any Mirrorcast application, but it does come with AirPin Pro for iPhones and iOS devices. To cast your Android cell phones, you will need to install the AirScreen app. So here I'm casting my Android cell phone using the AirScreen app, but it's not in HD quality. If you are into downloading and playing self-hosted videos, then you would have an interest in its 4K HDR video playback. So in this test, here it can play 4K HDR10. Next, it does not have the AV1 decoder, so if you attempt to play a video, it may either freeze or not play at all. Next, it also does not have the Dolby Vision decoder, so it may either play in HLG or not play at all. If your video is encoded with HDR10+. The box also does not have that decoder, so the video may play without audio. And if you have a video encoded in HLG, it can process that format without issues. If you would like to enjoy self-hosted videos in surround sound audio, once the video is encoded with Dolby or DTS format, you can do so using the VLC player with audio pass-through enabled. You must also set the audio decode and bitstream to HDMI. Only the VLC player delivers the various formats. The box is not fully Google certified, so you cannot get these formats from subscription streaming services. So here it produces Dolby Atmos.
Moving audio that transcends from channels to moving around you with pinpoint accuracy.
Dolby Digital Plus.
Whoa! What is this place? Whoa! Come on, you guys, let's go!
What captures the
DTS HD Master Audio. Dolby Surround. Dolby True HD.
Next, we have the center channel. Over here is the right channel.
And DTS-X. So this box can produce all surround sound audio formats. Just remember to enable the feature in the sound settings and use the VLC player. With Android gaming, even though it's a 64-bit model with the Mali G52 with Vulkan support, I find that it struggles a bit to render medium to high graphics settings. This is Devil May Cry Peak of Combat, and on low graphics detail at 1080p resolution, I am not getting a smooth gameplay. Because it has root access, you are able to run gamepad keymapping apps such as the Panda Mouse Pro. So here I am using it to play Call of Duty Mobile Season 6.
Headshot! Target down! Reloading! Cover me! Get down, sniper! Eliminated! Enemy contact!
For customizing your launcher experience, you have the option to use alternative launchers and custom wallpapers. However, you cannot use live wallpapers. I attempted PlayStation 2 emulation gaming, but for some reason the Aether SX2 emulator refused to read the BIOS folder and the ROMs folder from external storage or internal storage. At the front, it comes with a SIM card slot, and I would recommend that you use it only for mobile data in the event you don't have Wi-Fi or LAN connection. Now for some benchmarks and where it ranks on my chart. First, A1 SD Bench that benchmarks RAM transfer speed and internal storage read and write speeds. It has a RAM copy speed of 4047 megabytes per second. Its internal storage has a read speed of 161 megabytes per second and a write speed of 111 megabytes per second. Next, the results from the Ookla Wi-Fi and LAN speed tests. My internet has a maximum bandwidth of 315 megabits per second. Based on these results, after numerous tests, its 5 GHz band maxed out at 225 megabits per second. Its 2.4 GHz band maxed at 37 megabits per second, and its LAN port achieved the max speed of 316 megabits per second, confirming that its LAN port are gigabit LAN ports. Because it's 64-bit, it qualified for the Geekbench 6 CPU benchmark, and in benchmarking its single-core and multi-core threading performance, it got 175 single-core and 480 multi-core. Its Mali G52 GPU with OpenGL ES 3.2 with Vulkan support qualified for the Wild Life test from the 3DMark Gamers Bench GPU benchmark, and it scored 283 with an average FPS of 1.69. And in the Antutu benchmark, it scored 118,927. So that's the last of them, and let's now see where it ranks on my chart. So with these benchmarks, it landed a spot at position 24 based on its Antutu benchmark with a 3 out of 5 star rating. I have not yet received the final pricing for this box, and I will update it as soon as it becomes available. To view this chart, see the link in the description below this video. In summary, at this time, the Mekotronics manufacturer has not yet released the stock firmware for this box, so it would be unwise to install alternative operating systems such as Linux and Buildroot without the ability to reinstall the stock firmware. This Android box ARM mini PC has great potential and performance along with unique firmware features. It's not a certified model to play Netflix and others in HD and 4K, so I know this would be a turnoff for some. It can play 4K HDR HLG videos, and it can play all the surround sound audio formats. Its 3D graphics rendering needs some optimization, and they should have included a remote control in the box. In closing, this model was sent to me early for evaluation as they have not yet completed their purchase page or have all the operating systems such as Buildroot ready for download, nor do they have the original Android stock firmware available. Their products are usually sold on AliExpress, but they have not yet listed it, so I placed a link in the description where you can check out all of their amazing ARM mini PC models, so see my link in the description below. So there you have it, thanks for watching. I'll appreciate it if you take the time to give this video the thumbs up. It goes a long way in supporting this channel and with the ratings. If this is the first time viewing one of my videos, then be sure to click the subscribe button and ring the notifications bell before leaving to keep in the loop and to be notified each time I release new videos, offer an open box deal, or decide to do a giveaway. So thanks again for watching, stay connected, and see you in the next one. Thank you.